The recent release of the impressive fan-made PC port for The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX has been abruptly halted, and it is directly due to Nintendo taking it down. Nintendo issued a takedown notice for the HD version, which was either called or created by Link's Awakening X HD. That was just the name that I came across. I don't know if that's the person's online identity or if that was the actual game title, but the actual PC port that was taken down, it was known for its widescreen support, stunning visuals, and 120 FPS scrolling. And yeah, it was very recently released, like just a few days ago. And unfortunately, the game's files on itch.io were suspended due to a copyright claim, with Nintendo taking full responsibility, obviously, for this copyright claim, emphasizing the unauthorized use of its copyrights. The modder, responsible for the unofficial Link's Awakening DX PC port, responded to this takedown notice by promptly removing the files, which I don't blame them. I mean, you definitely don't want to get on Nintendo's bad side when it comes to legal stuff, as we've seen in the past. Nintendo is definitely no stranger to taking down online criminals when their IP is being tampered with. And I use the word criminal lightly. I mean, yeah, technically, if you are going against copyright restrictions, you know, fair enough. But yeah, that's more of how Nintendo probably sees that person, not necessarily myself. I definitely don't think that makes you the world's biggest supervillain by creating a PC Nintendo port. Now, just kind of for some backstory here, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a Game Boy game from 1993. It was the first Zelda game that was on a handheld device. It was pretty good for the time, and then 5 years later, they released the DX version, which was basically updated. It was in color. The Nintendo Switch actually came out with an updated version of the updated version, and that was also received very well. It looked very good. Now, unlike the Nintendo Switch remake from 2019, the PC port introduced widescreen support and all of these other features that I mentioned, which could have been one of the reasons why Nintendo wanted to take it down, because in a lot of ways it was actually better than their remake. I do have to say, though, I do think it's kind of funny that Nintendo is very big on taking stuff like this down, when you could look at, you know, ROMs for old school Nintendo games that are available all over the internet that they do nothing about, that are also available on, like, Nintendo Switch Online. So you could obviously make the argument that Nintendo is losing out on money by keeping some of these old school ROMs on the internet, because that would be money that people would throw at Nintendo for those games. My point being, it kind of looks like they pick and choose what they take down, but of course, it is their copyright material, so that is their right. That being said, though, I do feel bad for this independent developer. I do believe it was just one developer that worked on this game, that worked very hard to make a PC version of this awesome Nintendo game with added features that made it even better, all for that person just to release it, and then a few days later, Nintendo sends them a notice to take it down. I wish Nintendo would have, like, taken the opportunity to just say, hey, you already made it, let's maybe take this version and try to make a deal with the person that made it. You know, sell it ourselves. But these things are bigger than myself. I'm sure Nintendo has their reasons for all of this stuff. So unfortunately, rest in peace to this really good remake. It only lasted online for a few days. Like it or not, one thing is for certain: Nintendo does not play around.